Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is different. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's much brighter. The sun is higher in the sky. The wind is blowing this morning, but it's gorgeous here in Florida. It's gorgeous. It's nice and warm out here. And I want to welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I'm still looking for some indication. Yes, just saw Rumble go live. I'm live on YouTube. So I know I'm not just talking to nobody. Welcome. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And drink it if you got it. Today we've got the bathroom cup. When this cup is empty, it will be time to poop. Advertising the laxative effects of coffee. For many of us, a good thing. Obviously, it's not my first sip of coffee this morning, being 10 o'clock, but good nonetheless. Ah, wow. So, you know that I'll tell you this one little story, then I'll bring Ellen in. Ellen is in the green room and certainly has been active in the chat. And my God, has that chat been active this morning. I've got 12 people watching on Rumble. And some of the earliest chat on Rumble disappeared. I just noticed that as soon as I went live. So I'm going to miss you guys. But the first one I have in the Rumble chat is MITCH-Carnivore. Greetings from Tampa Bay. Mike Seeley, always an early bird. The first one's in. Good to see you. Good to see you. So the reason I did this early, twofold. Number one, to make it a little later for people out on the West Coast or other places that don't want to get up at 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning, whenever time 8:30 is. No, it's 5:30 out there. And make it 10 o'clock instead, which makes it 7 o'clock in the morning, which is more respectable. So I hope to see some of the West Coasters attending this morning. And the other reason I do it is so I can get to Sam's Club when they open at 8 o'clock. And that's what I did. That's what I did this morning. And I don't know if it's a funny story or a sad story, but I left the house. I left early because I like to fill up my car. I buy my gas at Sam's because not only is it the cheapest gas anywhere around, but I get 5% because I have a Sam's credit card. And it'd be silly for me to spend 30 cents a gallon more when I can get it that cheap and get 5% back on my credit card, just the same. So I went down the road and I had to make a left turn onto the main road where Sam's Club is, and they're resurfacing the road. And right at Sam's Club is where they were merging the traffic into one lane, and the traffic was backed up. And I had to go less than a quarter of a mile, maybe an eighth of a mile from where I turned onto that road to Sam's Club. It took me 20 minutes in that lane to get to Sam's. Got into Sam's Club, still had a little extra time to go get gas. I went and got gas. That went pretty quick. Got to the front door at Sam's Club at 1 minute before 8, and I noticed there weren't very many people standing around there. And I look in at Sam's Club, and it's dark. It's completely dark inside. No lights. 3 or 4 employees hanging around on the other side of the door. One of them comes up to the door, opens the door, and says to me, after the battle that I went through to get to that Sam's Club, "We're sorry, sir, but we had a massive power failure here. We probably won't be opening the store today." And it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I turn around, I get back in my car, I fought the traffic out of there, got home, and said to myself, well, okay, got plenty of time to set up for this live stream at 10 o'clock, and I've been sitting around waiting and watching TV, killing time until 10 o'clock. And I said, wow. I'm not going to do another 10 o'clock live stream this morning, so I'll just have to, and I think maybe what I'm going to do instead is make a Costco run today. I haven't shopped at Costco since I renewed my membership to get my new glasses. I think maybe I'll go to Costco today and do my shopping at Costco this afternoon. They don't have markdown stuff. There's no reason to go there early. So that's the plan. We'll try Sam's again next Wednesday morning. And that's how my day started. And after all that aggravation, I said, okay, Mitch, this is supposed to be a happy time here on Morning Coffee. We're supposed to be upbeat and positive. Start the day right, even though there's a lot of aggravating crap going on in the world. And I'm going to endeavor to do that. I'm going to try to do just that. And a smiling face always helps. So I'm going to bring Ellen in. There you are. Look at you, all dressed up this morning.
Good morning, Mitch. And good morning, everyone in chat. Hi.
Good to see you're home. Good to see you're home. You're done with your dogs. You're done with your dogs.
I am done with my dogs. Later, though, today I'm going to take care of my one of my other favorites, the 140-pound Mastiff. Remember her, Sky?
Oh, wow. You're going to sit all day again?
Just for the afternoon.
Oh, okay. You're not going to be overnight or anything like that.
No.
Oh,
so
okay. Wow, you got a real going business there, Ellen, with the dog sitting. Yeah.
Just kind of word of mouth. It just kind of happened. It's fun.
That's
so
great.
Anyway, chat has been busy, and my wheels have been spinning already this morning, Mitch.
Wow.
I was looking a little nervous. I was talking with Tom and some of the early birds, and I said, we talked about, because I always ask people where they are from. So, and I don't know where the cities are, geographically. So
yeah.
I'm going to get a big map. We talked
cool.
about that a little bit, and put pins in it where the people are from. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And someone, CJ's getting paid today. And you know what, CJ, I don't know if you're a he or a she. I apologize. I'll learn. Is with his or her paycheck is going to buy his or her very own Old Guy Carnivore coffee mug.
Cool. And so
yeah,
I'm hoping that those are going to be popular. And while it's on my mind, while you mentioned coffee mugs, yeah, be cool to have one of those things. I haven't gotten ours yet, but hopefully they're on the way. But speaking of coffee, the post office screwed me up yesterday. They were supposed to deliver the coffee cup from one of Mark Whistler's kids made, and they told me that it was in Orlando, and I'm sure the holiday weekend screwed up the shipping of that stuff. But Mark put in the chat that according to the tracking, it arrived at my post office at 6:38, I think he said, this morning. So I will check before I go over there to make sure they actually have got it in a locker for me to pick up. So when I open my post office box, the keys to that package locker will be in there, and I don't have to wait in an hour line of all these people. You know how they get at the post office? They get up there at the front of the line. It's a little old lady. She's got a package to mail, and she has to know every possible option available to her and question every answer. I got behind one of them the last time I went to that post office. She was at that window for 1/2 hour. 1/2 hour trying to mail one thing. And they only had one person working the window. And people in line were going nuts. And story of my life, I get behind him at the bank too. I get behind the person who owns 37 online businesses, each with its own bank account, and needs to make a deposit of $3.12, $2.71, $5 to each individual bank account, and question the balance and everything else on each individual bank account. I've been behind them in line too. Story of my life.
There's your chance to talk to the people around you in line that you're waiting with about carnivore.
Oh no, that would just be asking. I may as well wear a T-shirt that says "Abuse me, punish me," because that would be tantamount to that. So at any rate, good to see you this morning, Ellen. I'm going to elevate you to the penthouse. Yes, we're calling it a penthouse because I can't think of anything more. And let me adjust my picture here on my camera. Let me raise myself up a little bit and move myself over to the side a little bit so that I am cinematically perfect, observing what they call the rule of thirds. You should never, they say you're not supposed to put anything in the center of a picture. You're supposed to have it either a third way in from, they draw a hashtag across the screen and divide the whole screen into 9 blocks. And at the intersection, or in one of the, that's where your main attention should be drawn. I try to make this as cinematic and professional as I can out here on my back porch. So I got just a couple small things I want to talk about that kind of came to me this morning as I was trying to kill all this time from 5 a.m. until now. That's 5 hours with a disappointing trip to Sam's Club. And I'm watching the morning news and I'm watching the headlines and I'm go to YouTube and I'm looking at the thumbnails. And I just wanted to point out that 95% of what you're going to see in those thumbnails this following this election, not only the political stuff, but we even seem to have a preponderance of it in all the other genres on YouTube for some reason. It seems especially bad now. And that is, I would say 90% of all the thumbnails that I saw on YouTube this morning were clickbait and alarmist. Everybody in this country, on both sides of the political aisle especially, are stressed to the max by this stuff. And everybody wants to capitalize on that stress. So you'll see so much. And my only advice to you is the advice I gave myself. Just laugh at it. Laugh at it. Don't click on it. Don't click on it. All it's going to do is make you tense, stress you out, and indirectly hurt your health. I'm not going to go into intimate details, but you should go take a look, especially at the political stuff. I don't think any of it is real, but they keep pushing that agenda. The same lies they told before the election, they're doubling down on those. There's one alarming story from credible sources after another of all of the underhanded things they're doing to overturn the results of this last election, to throw all the obstacles they can before they got to leave so that Trump can't do anything and cripple him and cripple it. I mean, it's just one after another. And if you watch that stuff and you listen to these people, just keep in mind, they're just trying to sell views, get your attention, and make money and capitalize on the tension that still exists. As opposed to, if it went your way, be happy. If it didn't go your way, it's going to be good. It's not going to be as bad as you're being led to believe. So my advice for this morning, and that's all I really want to say, is it's BS. It's clickbait. They're selling something. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Do I have any other announcements? Oh yeah, I wanted to say something about the video that Sean Baker put out yesterday, and it was a good one. And the title of that video was "You Can, Maha, Make America Healthy Again, but Don't Screw Up the Beef Supply." And that was a second video basically on the same theme. And it just spawned an idea for a video that I'm going to put out. Hopefully I'll get it done by this afternoon. If not, it'll be tomorrow. Talking about my insights and my impressions of just how much real good to solve our, what is an obvious health problem in this country, Robert F. Kennedy's message, and the Make America Healthy Again movement. How much are they really going to accomplish? And I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about the whys, that I believe what I believe, and those are my opinions and my insights from a lot of a lifetime of always getting my hopes up for different things and then invariably never failing to be disappointed when it never happened. And I've learned to figure out why beforehand and not get my hopes up too much. So I'm going to make a video about that. It's going to be a stone cold hard look at reality, and I hope you enjoy it. It's not meant to be alarmist in any way. It's just meant to help people not be so disappointed when a week from Tuesday there's no diabetes anymore or no heart disease. It's not going to happen. Not that fast. Okay, Ellen, let's start to say hi to people.
Yes.
I have a huge pre-chat here. There's just no way I can go back to the beginning. So I'm going to start my hellos at 10 a.m. And I got to go a long way back just to get to 10 a.m. Holy cow, you guys are so prolific. We have 19 people now in the Rumble, watching on Rumble. 106 so far here, and we just got started. Although, God, it's already 10:15. How the hell do we waste so much time? I hope it's not a waste of time, but wow.
Not either. I'm sure
and if we go a little long, that'd be okay too. Okay, now we have first one I see at 10 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, Terry Sue. We'll get back to you. There's a lot more before you. Yes, here we go. And of course, when was your latest interview posted? Rick Papa Carnivore was in here talking to Rick Charger Mopar in Miami, who mentioned an interview. Saw that earlier. And Ellen, of course, was here right at 10 o'clock saying good morning and talking to people. Now, these are going to be a lot of good morning posts, but I want to say hi to you. DS111 says the plants are creeping, trying to kill Mitch. No, these are fake plants. They behave themselves. I would feel a little hair standing up on the back of my neck if this was a real plant. Envisioning the scene from Little Shop of Horrors when the plant says, "Feed me, Seymour." What a great movie that was. What a great movie.
I'll jump in if I see it start creeping over toward your head, Mitch.
Yeah, do that. Would you remind me if you see this thing here starting to turn around and aim towards me? Let me know quick. And we have Sue Hall here. Good morning, everyone, from West Central Texas. Well, good morning to you. Terry Sue said, I'm glad you started later. Yeah, I'm sure there are some people, but I can't do this every day. It would take too big a chunk out of what generally is the most productive time of my day when I either record and or edit a YouTube video that I want to get out by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which YouTube tells me is the best time for me to release videos. Greg Smith is here, says morning all. And Steve Rogers from Kansas City, Missouri, Captain America, always great to have superheroes join in here. Cole's Attic from Georgia is here. How you doing? And Booby Goats is here. B. Matt is here, says good morning. Tom from Tampa, Viking 442. Watch that potty mouth. Surely he couldn't be talking to me, or is he talking about my coffee cup message?
I bet that's it.
Probably that is what he's talking about. And we have Free Texanette. Did she ever tell us that if I was correct with her name the other day?
No, she didn't. So Free Texanette, please.
Yeah, and again, I almost remember it. I don't want to embarrass myself. I think it Paula or something like that. But at any rate, put it in the chat. Ellen will pick it up and make sure I get it, and I will never forget it again or doubt that I actually did remember it. And if I did remember it, get it correctly, that would be a tremendous endorsement for Carnivore about how sharp it makes your mind, because in my entire life I could never remember anybody's first name the first two until I've heard it 3, 4, maybe even 5 times. So that'd be a great sign. And if I'm wrong, then my history hasn't changed. And DS111 says he's not working today, and that's why he's here. Who is this? This is Moto J81. Howdy, meet friends. Good to see you. And let me go back. No, Maddie Van is here. Good morning from Southern Oregon. And Jiffy, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And Cole's Attic. Best of both worlds. Beach and mountains. Wow. Wow, that's great. And we have Moto J says, I'm a West Coaster, North Central Idaho. And I actually like the 5:30. Good. If you're like me, you're up at 5 o'clock in the morning anyway. Kiltsey gets away with doing his stream at 5 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, which is 2 o'clock where you are. So somebody must be up. Ellen, did you say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say, that's in the middle of the night. But
It is in the middle of the night. And here we have Meetitudes says, good morning to you, Ellen. You're a great help to Mitch.
oh, thank you.
How
I
about
hope
that?
so.
Yes, a star is born. And this is it Gina Cav? I guess that's how you might pronounce that. Says, hi, Mitch. Hi, Gina. How you doing? Rain Dancer, 1980s here. Good morning to you. And he also gives you a compliment. Pretty lady. Obviously, he's not talking about me. So we can be rest assured that he's talking about you. Pamela Suarez is here. Good morning, Mitch and Ellen. You both look great. Thank you so much. I got a compliment too. See, Ellen? You see?
Yes.
You see?
You always do.
Yes. Maria Kelly is here. Says, good morning, all. Good morning, Maria. How you doing? How you doing? And Free Text Annette, yes, again, still have a hard time in this bright sunlight reading the green names on this thing.
And Free Text Annette is Rhonda.
Rhonda. Did I say that last time? I may have said Rhonda last time. Rhonda.
I'm sure you did.
Rhonda. Now, I don't know why it came out Paula this morning, but Rhonda. Yes, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. I'll remember that. Yeah, Free Text Annette. If I forget it again, slap me with your name again. And that's the only way. And you can see that I do call a lot of these people by their names, and their names are ingrained in my memory now. It's just a process I need to go through. I think what it is my short-term memory. I think my short-term memory gauges how important is this to use long-term memory for. And in my career and in my business, I met so many people. I was introduced constantly every day to new people, shook hands with guys. And I would say, I'm Mitch, and they would tell me their name, and 2 seconds later, I would have no clue as to what their name was. And I think my mind did not assign enough importance to a relationship with that individual to actually move that name from short-term storage in my head to long-term. That's why when you try to remember a phone number, for example, and you say it to yourself, you got 7 seconds, I think, is the average time before it completely disappears from your mind. Because it's something you only need to remember long enough to type it in on a phone or a password or something like that. But when something is actually transferred to the hard drive in your brain out of the temporary memory area, it has to have some relative importance. And you guys are extremely important to me. But I still have that reflex of the first time I hear or see a name, I don't make that connection. But once that connection is made, and I see it at least more than once every 6 months, I will always remember that name. And of course, Rick Charger Mopar equates everything to ducks, so we are early ducks today. And here we have C.J. Brackney, female here. Ellen, C.J. Brackney is a female.
Oh,
good.
Thank you. CJ.
Thank you for telling us, and we will try to remember that. And
we will remember that.
Seahole, I ordered a mug. Thank you so much. That's great. You can be a member of of the club, and I'm so happy to see
Yes.
everybody here.
And Mitch, those people are going to send us pictures of themselves drinking with their mugs, which I'm going to put on the map. It's going to be like a big collage in there.
Oh, cool. And I am going to put, I already have a picture of some of the people wearing their T-shirts that they have with the Old Guy
Oh, we
Carnivore
can add
T-shirts, and
them.
right under that on my homepage of my website, oldguycarnivore.com, is going to be a similar looking section with people who are sporting their coffee mugs. So you can be famous. You can become immortal.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and Mama Bear's here. How you doing? Good to see you. Rain Dancer asked a question but kind of made a statement. Oxalates, can they go into your lymph system?
Yes, I saw
Hopefully
that.
iodine will help. I would think so, and I don't know if iodine helps. The thing that helps get rid of oxalates is, first and foremost, stop eating them. And then your body just wants to get rid of them, wherever they may find a place to hide. And that's what they do. They find a place to hide in your kidneys, in your joints, create kidney stones, give you joint pain, do all kinds of stuff. And if you've been poisoning yourself for an entire lifetime, you may run into something. When you start dumping oxalates, you may be dumping them too fast, which can cause another whole host of problems. So if anybody is really concerned about oxalates and oxalate dumping, look up Sally Norton on YouTube. I don't know if she has her own channel, but she's a guest everywhere, and you'll come across her videos. And she is kind of like the de facto authority and has studied more about oxalate dumping and has what I think is maybe some of the best advice, because these oxalates will even create rashes and pimples on your skin. And when those little pimples burst open, there'll be a crystal, a tiny little grain of sand size, amber-colored, glass-looking shard. And that's oxalates, and your body is ejecting them any way that it can. Oh, this is interesting. Jason H. says, I find markdown meat at Costco. Your Costco must be broken. I will have to look at that. I've never seen it in Costco. Never seen it in Costco. Good morning, Tammy. Tammy Pitarch, good morning to you. I've made it all the way to 10:10, only 15 minutes behind. Wow, and CB is here. Hey, CB Carmack. CB Carmack Sheriff. CB from Alabama. Good to see you. Good to see you. And who is this? Oh, Steve Rogers again. Bill Streety. I don't know if I said hi to you, but if I didn't, hello, good morning. I said hi to you. Oh, here's a great handle. MC Trusts No One. Looking very aesthetic, Mitch. With your rule of thirds. Yes, it's anybody who's been a photographer or a graphic artist or graphic designer knows the rule of thirds intimately. And we here, of course, strive for the highest level of professionalism.
The highest level.
Well, we strive for it. Doesn't mean we certainly didn't produce it last night when the whole stream blew up halfway through, and
well, but
I struggled and fought my way back.
Race under pressure.
And if you guys didn't see the live stream last night, but like to watch the replays, you'll find it in part A and part B. You'll find one that has the original thumbnail, and that was the first hour until it crashed. And then there's a second one that I created on the fly, and the thumbnail on that is a picture of me sitting at my, in my studio, and that is the second half. And it was very, very interesting, I think, and actually came off pretty good. We ended up with most of the people that were there, almost 100 of them that were there, found their way back to the second stream, which was surprised me. William McCartney's here. Got to watch the Hungry Vegans. Why would you want to do a thing like that? And who is this? That's DS111 again. William McCartney, Rain Dancer, Terry Sue, CB. I think I'm getting to where I said hi to most of the people that were in early. Ellen, let me continue to go through here. Paul McGrogan, did I say hi to you? No. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. And DS111 again. Here's another. Carrie. Carrie Duffy says, looking forward to that video. I hope so. I hope so. I've got a lot of reality to throw out there. Maybe curbing our enthusiasm a small amount will lessen the amount of future mass disappointment when we find out that that whole movement actually missed the point entirely and may even have a possibility of being more destructive to the current state of things than any good that it might do if they really, and they're all smart people. And I may be the lone voice on my side of this idea, and I could be 100% wrong, and I hope I am, but I don't think I am. And the longer I do this carnivore thing, and the more I observe everybody else, the more I'm convinced that I'm on the right track. And we'll talk about it in the video. I don't want to be a spoiler here. Let's see who else we got that is new. I said hi to Rick and Steve and Rick again and Terry Sue again and Ellen again, and I don't see anybody else new. Ellen, so let me continue to scroll down here a little bit. I'm at 10:20, so I'm about 12 or 13 minutes behind. Health Studio, how you doing? Good to see you. I do keep trying. And Rhonda, yes, Rhonda. Thank you so much for that. And I remembered it before I even put it up on the screen and read what you said. That name is now burned into my memory. And Mark's channel. Hey, another Mark. How you doing, Mark's channel? Good to see you. Mark says, how's it going, young man? I always love it when people call me young man. And Polish Mike is here. How you doing? I love it when they call me boss. Pat Ramirez says good morning. And I think we're past the bottom of the hour. It's enough saying hi to people. If I didn't get to you, Stickman's Garage is here. How you doing? I'm still looking, but I think, Ellen, if you would get ready with the first question, if any. Oh, here's Randy K, man. I can't miss saying hi to Randy. Good morning, Randy, wherever you happen to be today. If you're out on the road, be careful. Be careful. And last but not least, our friend Spanky, golf addict. Good morning, Spanky. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. And before I start answering questions, I just want to check and see if anybody bought me a coffee yet today. No coffees yet today. So there's the one shameless plug that you're going to get from me this morning is I always appreciate it when you guys buy me a coffee. So no obligation, but again, it always goes back to my father, the smartest guy that ever lived, says. He said, Mitch, you don't ask, you don't get. Okay, Ellen, what do you got for me? What do you got?
Well, we have 2 new channel members that happened sometime between last night and this morning, so I just wanted to mention that.
Oh, that's cool.
Chris Swain and Sandy Blythe.
Well, welcome, and tomorrow night in the private chat, we hope to see you. We hope to see you guys. That'd be great, and thank you. Welcome to the community. And oh, there you go. See, my father was right yet again. He was right. Thank you, Dad. My dad's been gone since 1990. 34 years. Hard to believe. He was much older than me when he was 47 years old when I was born. So it was his first marriage too. So he was old. He was grandfather age, even though he was my father. And of course, I lost him. I lost him relatively early. But he did live into his 90s. It's not like he didn't live a long life, but he was just so much older than me. And he was right. Thank you, Dad. Seagull bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. Thank
Mm,
you so
thank
much. And
you.
Seagull said in his thing, he didn't say anything, just bought me a coffee. That's fine too. Thank you so much, Seagull. Really appreciate that. All right, Ellen, back to you.
Okay.
Enough crass commercialism here.
Okay. So I am going to read an old question. I don't see any new ones, but something weird. We've been having all these technical difficulties. I've had to restart YouTube 3 times already because I keep getting locked out of the chat. I don't know if they're
I
like,
don't know. I don't know. It sounds like a
anyway,
conspiracy to me.
yeah, it sure does, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm getting caught up, people. If I missed you, I'll be back scrolling. Okay, but in the meantime, I've got some leftover questions.
Okay, well, you like those.
Trucking Carnivore asked from Saturday, what kinds of oil are best for a deep fryer? He wants to make your chicken thighs
And
recipe.
you want to do that in a deep fryer. The problem with a deep fryer I've always found is it just takes too much oil. And I don't know if it gains you anything. I had a deep fryer, and in the video I made probably almost a year ago where I made a big deal out of cleaning out all of the old kitchen gadgets that I had from the old days and took them all to Goodwill, a truckload of them. One of them was my old deep fryer, which I hadn't used. And the last time I had used it years and years and years and years and years ago was before Carnivore, before even
Mm.
the hint of the fact that seed oils are no good for us. And I used to buy peanut oil. It was my favorite oil to fry in. Peanut oil. I used to buy it in 5-gallon restaurant size containers. And it took just a ton of oil to fill up a deep fryer to make one meal. And saving old oil is such a mess and everything else that I found out that if you just use a frying pan and have maybe a 1/4 inch deep, you will get the same results as deep frying, as evidenced by my salmon cakes that I had for dinner the other night, which were fabulous. And to show you how fabulous, how absolutely fabulous they were, I am going to show you a picture of those very salmon cakes. Look at that. That's the result of 1 can of the wild-caught salmon that I buy in cases of 12 from Amazon. Links on my Stuff I Use page on my website. Another shameless plug. Uh, that's got 2 eggs in it, 5 heaping
Yes.
tablespoons of pork rind crumbs, not coated in pork rind crumbs, but mixed in like you make a meatloaf. You just take the salmon, you put it in a mixing bowl, you put all the liquid from the can in there as well. And I think I even have, yes, and there's a picture of them in the oil, so you can see how deep they are in the frying pan. And
Oh, it's like,
I think I even took a video of them.
yeah.
Yes, there it is. There they are. Look at that.
Ooh, look
There
at
they
that.
are frying away, and that's all you need. And I use bacon grease for that because I sure have enough bacon grease. And you just leave them in there. You can't burn them. The darker they get, the crisper the outside gets, but the insides are always nice and juicy and soft. And they are tremendous. I have the recipe video. It's on my channel. And it's one of my favorite things. And you don't add any salt to it because there's enough salt in the pork rind crumbs. You get over a pound of food. I put them all down, but towards the end I was getting to the point where, do I want to save this last one for tomorrow and just eat it cold with a meal as kind of a side dish? I don't snack, but make it part of a meal. But as I kept eating, I just kept eating because they tasted so good, and so I ended up eating all of that the other night, and it was a great meal and not very expensive either. It was great. So I do that about once a month, and Amazon occasionally has a sale on those cases of 12 of those things. It's a wild caught canned salmon. It has skin in it. It's got the soft bones in it. It's got all the collagen and all the connect. It's got everything in there. It is as healthy as you can eat. So eating something fried in bacon grease like that with eggs in it and pork rind crumbs is absolutely 100% carnivore, but I think it's actually better than the traditional way of frying things in seed oils like canola oil. And I do the same thing with chicken wings. But I tend lately to deep fry in a frying pan with maybe a 1/4 inch of oil in it. Chicken wings, fish, pork rind, batter, dip it in egg, coat it with pork rind crumbs, throw it in there, let it get nice and brown. And with a big thick piece of fish, check the internal temperature with a thermometer as it's cooking. Make sure you don't overcook it. But that's how I do it. So I hope that answered that question for you. You could fill up a deep fryer with bacon grease, but holy cow, you'd need a slew of it. And to clean up that mess would be monumental. And it works just as good in a frying pan. Put the deep fryer away. All right, Ellen, what else have we got there?
I got bumped out of YouTube again. I'm telling you, I think maybe
I don't know.
My opinion last night, but you know what? I'm getting good at getting right back in. So
okay, good. Yeah, you just hit the refresh button on your browser and it reloads right where you were.
They're not gonna get me. Bill Streety is curious what you did in the military.
What did I do in the military? That's an interesting story. But first, it's getting late, and I've missed something. I've forgotten something. Ellen, what was it? I know. I'm trying to think what I forgot. I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And our music.
Excuse me. Ellen felt the need to dance, and I as well. So excuse me while I light my cigar, and you can listen to some happy music, because that is, after all, the reason we're here. What did I do in the military? What did you do in the Army, Daddy? They did a movie about that, didn't they? Something like that. So I was in the Army, and I was assigned to the Army Security Agency, which answered to the NSA, and I was an electronics technician repairing top secret equipment used, and I can tell you this now because that was 50 plus years ago, but I had a top secret clearance with what they call crypto access, one of the highest clearances you can get in the military, and we spied. We just monitored things, monitored radio transmissions, teletypes. We monitored everything, and the results of what we got every day were shipped to the NSA, where analysts went over it with a fine-tooth comb. And my first assignment was in Turkey, where we had the largest antenna field in the world, recording everything that was broadcast on every frequency 24/7 from the Soviet Union. And that's what I did, and it was an interesting thing. And my job was to keep the equipment working, and there weren't very many guys that could do that, and I was lucky to be able to troubleshoot. I'm a troubleshooter. I'm a root cause guy. It was evident to me in the military. I could fix things nobody else, they didn't even know how they worked. I could fix them. I figured out what the root cause of the problem was in equipment I'd never seen before. And that was a skill that I've had all my life. And I brought it into the carnivore thing, always trying to find the root cause of either a condition or even more important, a behavior, and the why of why we do things. So that's what I did. That's what I did in the military. I served for four years. I went from Turkey to Germany. I enlisted in the Army rather than let them draft me. I gave them 4 years of my life in return for a promise, a guarantee written that I would not go to Vietnam. And that was worth an extra 2 years of my life, not to have to go to Vietnam. And I don't,
Mm, good
people
for
may have
you.
thought that was cowardice, but no, I wasn't ready I was 19 years old. I wasn't ready to go get killed quite yet. So I said, well, let me do something in the Army at least that I can use my brain at and not just carry a gun around and shoot people. So that was my Army. That was my Army career, and I benefited greatly from it. It was one of the best times of my life looking back. I used my GI Bill when I got out of the Army to get all my pilot's licenses. They actually paid for that. I became a fully licensed commercial pilot with instrument rating, multi-engine ratings, flight instructor ratings, and I actually went to work as a flight instructor for a while, trying to get
Mm,
an airline job back then. Unfortunately, in 1970, 71, we had a huge recession. The airlines weren't hiring people. The military was pumping out ex-jet jockeys from the war, and I couldn't compete with them with their 10,000 hours of heavy transport time, and me having obtained my pilot's license through the civilian network, flight instruction. But flying became a very important part of my life, and I flew airplanes all my life. And I never regret that I went into the military, and I was proud to serve. I was proud to serve. I made rank real quick, and did pretty well. Hope that answers that question for you.
that was great. Fascinating. And we have a special announcement. We have a birthday today.
Oh, really?
Tiramir. It is Tiramir's birthday.
Turamir, you saw
Tiramir.
him last night on the live stream. The pictures that he sent us from out there, from that Indian uh, spiritual place that they visited, and he has since written that he laid the pen on the ground. He was at the point to something. I still don't know what it was. I don't know if they knew what it was, but I couldn't see what it was that the pen was pointing to. But it's got to be a very interesting place. It's on Indian land.
Yes. He thought maybe it was a track. A track.
Oh, okay,
That's why
okay,
he had the
yeah.
pen to compare the size. But he is 46 years old.
Oh, he is just a mere child. Holy cow.
Yes. Happy
Tuka.
birthday.
Tuka, his name is Tuka.
Yes.
Tuka, I have shoes that are older than you. and you think I'm kidding. No, I still have some shoes that I've had since I was back in the Army days. I don't know why I keep those things, but I still have some old boots. Oh, God, boots as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Yes.
And
Happy birthday.
no, I can't do it. If I was in my studio, I could play happy birthday for you, but
We could
can't.
sing, but we don't want that.
No, we don't want to sing.
Yeah,
You don't
we'll
want to hear
just
me
say
sing.
happy
I will
birthday.
destroy the speakers in whatever device you are watching this stream on if I were to sing.
Okay. Well, Carrie Duffy would like to know if there's an alternative to pork rinds because she has a pork allergy.
Well,
She,
not
I
that I
think
not that I know of, unfortunately. Not that I know of.
Oh, yeah.
Pork
Maybe someone
skins, yeah, they
will have to work on that. Maybe.
there is I don't know what's the company that makes it. There are people that do put out powdered meats, which are just
Yeah,
desiccated meats like
yeah,
beef and
something like
chicken.
that might
And
be.
I don't remember because I have no interest in that stuff. They try to use these things as flour in baking, as flour substitutes.
Right.
I know that Nisha Berry has done a lot of experiments with them, whether it comes out good. But the thing about pork rinds is you've got a pretty good fat to protein ratio, and that's all you got there is fat and protein. And you'd say, the protein. When you make a pork rind, you take a piece of skin and you render out the fat. But we all have in all of our body fat, we have a scaffolding-like structure, a matrix that's made out of proteins. And it holds the fat cells in place. Otherwise, we'd all be walking around with ankles that were this big around, because all of our fat would just go to the lowest point of our body because of gravity. Something has to hold it up where it is, where it's deposited. And it's these protein matrix type of structures that keep the fat in place. And when you render the fat away, you're left with air where the fat was, and the protein matrix, which fries itself and gives you the crunch of a pork rind. And there's still enough fat left, so you're not eating pure fat, but you're getting fat. And now, if you say you're allergic to pork, I don't know if you've ever tried a pork rind. It may be there's something in the actual meat that you're allergic to, and I have not heard of a pork allergy. Now, it's just me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an allergist especially, but it may be you're not really allergic to pork. How many, you don't hear too many people that are allergic to meat.
Well, yeah, and it's complicated. Sometimes people use allergy when they have a reaction to something or react badly, but it's not necessarily a true allergy. So
It might be. I can't help you with that.
in a logic sense, but that's a good idea. A couple people, CB suggested maybe Parmesan cheese if you do cheese, or some of the hard cheeses like
Yeah, if you can do hard cheese, but it's not going to it's not going to make things crispy and crunchy. It's going to make them gooey when you cook things with the cheese in there. But no, I mean, for me, that was one of the things I had. I'm out of them right now. I have no pork rinds. I have pork rind crumbs that I get from Amazon, but then I use when I cook. But to just eat pork rinds, that was one of the things I had to pick up today at my unfortunately power-failed Sam's Club. If you weren't here in the beginning and heard that story. Oh, the Rumble chat. Let me say hi to some of the people so I don't ignore them. They're in the Rumble chat. I fixed my tablet so I could actually read them. United Carnivore was the first one, and Grumpy Old Carnivore's been all over that. Good to see you. Says good morning. Carney Lori is also in the Rumble chat. LT212 is in the Rumble chat. I fixed it so it doesn't matter what color your name is. I can now read it. Change some settings on the tablet. We've got Hawkin08 watching on Rumble, Mitch. Good to see you and welcome. Well, I almost give you. Okay, that's Carney Lori again and Grumpy Carnivore. So good to see you over on Rumble. Good to see you on Rumble. I really would like to build more of a presence over there. If you're not subscribed to my Rumble channel, I think that might help them push me out a little bit more. You can go over to Rumble and at least subscribe. I'd rather most people still watch it on YouTube, but I don't want to discourage anybody from watching it on Rumble or both. Some people just open it up in both browsers. I get credit for views everywhere. Appreciate that. But I still need the YouTube views if they're to be had, because I still rely on YouTube to push my stuff out and expose it to new people when I don't think, I know in politics there's tons of people on Rumble, but I don't know how big a presence health and nutrition and especially the carnivore lifestyle have out there. I know Ken Berry has a presence there, but when I look at his videos, he gets 3,000-4,000 views. Whereas on YouTube, he gets hundreds of thousands of views. So we're not there yet on Rumble, but I think we should be. I think we have to be. I think we have to, especially with the controversy surrounding our dietary choices and our views on cholesterol. We have to be someplace where what we're doing isn't basically against their community policies. And my daughter just texted me.
Oh, okay.
She's funny. I'm going to share this with you. Okay. She texted me, let me say, I'm live streaming, so she doesn't keep texting me. Live streaming now, and I will reply to that. I apologize for this. But I want to share this with you because I think that it says a lot. And I'm going to use a 4-letter word here because it says so on this meme I'm going to show you. It's a coffee cup that I want. I want this coffee cup. It has a minion on it. We all know what minions are. From the cartoon characters, the minions, yes. The little minions. Yeah, it has a minion on it. And it says, it says, inner peace begins with 4 words. Not my fucking problem. I love it. I love it. I need this cup. I need this coffee cup. Don't you think? Don't you think?
I think you do. I think, oh, yes, you've got to have.
And my daughter, I hope she bought it. It looks like she bought it. I mean, it's great. It's great. And it's great having a daughter that thinks like I think, basically. All right, Ellen, do we have any more questions? We still have a little time left this morning.
Someone asked which pork rinds you used, but I put the link to your.
I don't know if I have the pork rinds on my page.
Oh, you don't? Oh, well,
no. Oh, the pork rind crumbs. The crumbs are on there. The pork rind crumbs.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a link for that. But
the recipe, right? Well.
Yeah. Okay, but the pork rinds I use, and I haven't been back to Aldi's. They used to be about $1.10 a bag, and I saw somebody make a post that they raised the price to $1.79 a bag, and I'm saying, holy cow! Talk about a price increase. I haven't verified that for myself, and I buy these big tubs of pork rinds at Sam's, the big clear plastic jars of them. They're both clean enough, as clean as probably you're going to find. They're not fried in seed oils, which why would you? I never could understand that. When pork rinds start out as all fat, why would you need to add fat? It would be like cooking bacon in canola oil. I mean, why would anybody do that? The fat renders out right away. So Sam's Club or Aldi's is where I get them. At Aldi's, it's the Clancy brand is the name of it. They come in 2 flavors. They come in barbecue or plain, and I never buy the barbecue. God knows what they put in that seasoning. I buy the plain ones, and they're pretty clean. Pretty clean. Been eating them for a long time. No ill effects, no cravings, no nothing. So, and I generally use them when I eat smoked salmon. I put the smoked salmon on top of one of them, and I eat it like an hors d'oeuvre. It's great. It goes crunch. I love it. All right, Ellen, what else we got?
I can't wait to make that recipe. One of these days I'm going to. We don't have any new questions today. This is
Wow, you guys.
I've been scrolling back, but I have a couple of old ones.
Yeah, go ahead. Just dig out an old one, and we're almost done here this morning. But I got time to answer another one.
CB also brought up a point back to the pigs, that sometimes people could be allergic to something the pigs eat, because often, especially like factory-raised ones, are fed a lot of corn and soy products and stuff.
It could be. Most of that stuff doesn't make it into the meat. It's usually metabolized by the pig, but some of it might be sneaking through.
But anyway, who knows? Okay, so something you have to experiment with yourself, I think. Okay, let me pull something up here. I don't even. I think I'm getting near the end. Somebody, Holly Henkels. I don't know if she's here, but maybe other people might have this question. I wanted to know is it okay if she puts just a little onion in? She wasn't specific. I assume in something that she's making.
That goes back to my view on seasonings, and I keep talking about this, and I do adopt kind of a hard-ass kind of stance on it for a number of reasons that may be more important to me than everybody else, because anybody can do anything. If you do something that comes from a plant, of any plant, you have to be very wary of any ill effects or tendencies towards cravings. Onions have a lot of sugar, which is why they caramelize so nicely. And they become sweet, which is why French onion soup can be addictive because of the amount of sugar in an onion. It's still a plant, still has toxins. Anytime your eyes start watering, you know it's got toxins, because that's a defense mechanism of the plant. You take a bite of a raw onion, and that capsaicin or whatever compound that it's got in there hits your eyes and your eyes start burning like hell. And that's designed to ward off any animals that might eat it. It's a defense chemical. Not that it may be that harmful. We eat hot peppers all the time. It may not be harmful to us. But I think, in my own experience, and that's what I can talk about with 100% conviction, not a guess, but I know this because this was my experience. I used to love to put onions in everything. I used to, peppers and onions. Nothing like a good steak sandwich with peppers and onions on it. Even people who eat a lot of liver, it's always like liver and onions. Onions are a great complement to meat. And I asked myself, am I going to enjoy it without these things? And I gave it a try. And I actually experienced or discovered after not too long a period of time that if I gave myself the opportunity of eating the meat that I eat seasoned only with salt or sometimes smoked salt, I actually liked it better. It was more natural to me. And so many of us, we say we're eating meat, but what we're really doing is making meat candy, especially the whole barbecue field with the rubs and the sauces and all the sugar that gets put in. And the actual taste and flavor of the meat, which is something that if you get adapted to it, you'll find the most flavorful thing you ever ate because it's supposed to be. We're supposed to want to eat that stuff. We're supposed to crave that stuff if we're going to crave anything. But we crave sugar so much that we want to turn that meat into sugar. Now, onions is a mild thing to do. And if you were to use a small amount of onions or even onion powder, let's say, to flavor it up, or garlic powder, you probably wouldn't hurt yourself. I doubt that little bit of onion would give you cravings enough to knock you off your diet. But I'd be wary that it might if all of a sudden you start thinking about sweet things again and you hadn't. And it depends on how long into this journey you are. But I think it would be an interesting experiment for you to give yourself a little time without that stuff and see if you don't experience the same thing that I experienced. And that's about the best I can say to you. But if you're not a stone hard, ridiculously high level carbohydrate addict and you're just a moderate addict or a mild addict, then you can do keto or ketovore or any of these diets and add in some of these plants if you want to, as long as they don't cause cravings or harm you in some other noticeable way. Like you have a condition that everybody who has carnivore is telling you it will heal, like high blood pressure or fatty liver, and yours somehow isn't. Then you have to look at why. And if you're eating a lot of this stuff, a lot of onions, a lot of seasoning, a lot of plant material, then you might say, okay, maybe I need to give it a shot, eliminate that for a couple of months, and see if I don't see a change. That I think would be my answer to that, without actually telling people, no, you can't. Don't do it. I don't make rules here. I just give you reasons why. I think that's the best I can do.
Okay.
All right, Ellen.
I did miss one question in my,
okay. Shoot.
Dilemma with the internet. So Terry Sue, related to the Army, wanted to know what you ate in the Army. I thought that was interesting.
I just ate the normal standard diet like everybody else ate. And they fed us pretty good. They fed us pretty good in the Army. We had plenty of meat where I was. I wasn't eating K rations or any of that stuff that they had to eat in the war zone. I mean, I was stationed in Turkey at a field station that was built for the Army there. And we had a mess hall, almost like you see in some of these aircraft carrier movies. Okay. The food was fabulous. And the quantities of food that we could eat. And to show you how beautiful a place this was, we had swimming pools. We had really nice barracks. Most of us that had the rank of any non-commissioned officer like I had our own private rooms. There were no barracks. We had our private rooms. We had our Everybody had bought a stereo system at the PX. We had not a lot of furniture, but it was kind of like a dorm room as opposed to a typical army barracks. And it was pretty good there. It had to be good. We were stuck there. It was being like house arrest. I mean, you were in a compound, and maybe once a month we got on a bus and went downtown. We were outside about 23 miles from Ankara, Turkey.
Mm.
And I got to see some of the countryside. I got to see the Turkish culture and everything. And what happened was, while I was there, I was 11 months into my 1 year assignment over there in Turkey, and they came down and decided to close the base completely. Evidently, the usefulness of it was winding down. It was very expensive to maintain, and they decided to close it. And the Turks had a rule that when the U.S. military brought anything into the country, they had to leave it. That was an agreement. So we couldn't take any of this stuff out with us, and that place was full of highly classified, highly sophisticated technology of that day. And the last couple of weeks that I was there, we spent the entire time with blowtorches and sledgehammers, totally destroying every bit of electronic equipment we had in that base, making it almost unrecognizable with grinders and just chewing it up into dust so that the Turks wouldn't have it, because God knows what would happen if that happened. And we tried to drink. This is why I'm not a drinker today, and it's a funny story. We tried to drink up all the alcohol that was in the NCO club, so we didn't have to leave it to the Turks either. So for the last 3 or 4 weeks that we were there, they had free drinks at the NCO club every night, and they served you 6 drinks at a time. This is real. You can't make this stuff up. They served, and what was I, a naive 20-year-old at the time, not really a drinker, but for some reason, I mean, this is going to make a lot of people nauseous. My drink of choice at the time, looking back at the stupidity, was a Southern Comfort and 7-Up.
Oh, that's like
the sweetest drink on the planet Earth. And they were serving 6 of them at a time to us every night. And one night, I got so drunk, I thought I was almost going to die. I got so drunk, they carried me back, I think, to my room. I don't remember that. I did. They put me on my back on my bed, and at some point I actually fell out of the bed onto the floor. I got up from the floor because I had to go to the bathroom. The bathroom door was 2 doors down from my room, and there was a hallway about 10 feet wide. I do remember bouncing off both walls, getting to the bathroom. I got back to sleep. I was sick for a couple days after that with a hangover, and basically never drank again in my entire life. The thought of it.
That would do it.
Yeah, the thought of it. And the reason I never smoked cigarettes was I told this story about my mother teaching me how to smoke, because she was a smart woman and knew that once I did what she said and tried to suck down as much of that smoke into my lungs as I could, she gave me permission to smoke. She told me she was going to teach me, and she taught me okay. She taught me that I would never be able to look at another cigarette again in my life or inhale any smoke into my lungs. I got so sick. So she was I was 11 years old at the time. And that's the reason why I never smoked cigarettes. Now, I started puffing on pipes and a cigar because it was cool and everybody was doing it in the Army, but I never smoked anything that I inhaled. And that's a habit that stuck with me the rest of my life. And it's something I enjoy and I keep doing. And if it kills me, it'll kill me. None of us are going to live forever, but I don't see any bad effects from it. And until I do, no coughing, no nothing, no mouth sores, none of that stuff. As long as I'm healthy, I can puff on a cigar like my grandfather did till he died at 102 years old, and so many other really old guys I know now who smoke more cigars than I do. And that's where each of us are still autonomous, and none of us should be told what to do. We can only be given facts, and we mix that with our own experience and make those decisions for ourselves and try to surround yourself with non-judgmental people who aren't always trying to tell you what to do. My biggest challenge here on YouTube, one I think I've pretty well licked. It's thanks to you guys. You guys are, without a doubt, I think, not the biggest audience, but maybe one of the best.
I'll drink to that.
I just did. I think I finished my coffee, and we're about 10 minutes over, but that's fine. I want to bring Ellen back in.
Fine. Yes.
And
Hey.
in her flowery jacket there.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks for all your comments, your discussion. It was great. Happy birthday, Turamir. And I'm so glad you all were here. Have a great day or night wherever you are. And I'll see you later. I'll see you tomorrow, Mitch, back at our regular time.
We will, 8:30 in the morning. Okay, thank you so much, Ellen. And you have a great day. You have a great day. And everybody else, take a minute. Take a minute before you disappear to just say goodbye in the chat to all your friends. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, Thursday morning at 8:30 again. Thank you all the people who came today, who came because you're on the West Coast and this was a little better for you. I appreciate everybody here. It was fun. It was fun. And now it's almost getting on time for me to think about my first meal. I usually eat between 11 and 12. Yesterday, I never ate a second meal for some reason. I ate my first meal and never got hungry again. So I didn't eat. It's amazing. So I haven't eaten for at least 24 hours. I guess that means I fasted for a whole day. Incredible what this does to your appetite. So my friends, I'm going to fire up my cigar real quick. Thank you again for coming. And, as usual, God, this has become so obvious, hasn't it? The music stopped, and I'm going to say, take the rest of the day off, my friends, and eat meat.